Douglas Cooling and Heating, serving the Birmingham area for 38 years. 988-3706. That's Douglas.
This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, October the 30th. Well, it's almost Halloween. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Let's take a look at our Skycam imagery this morning. There's Dauphin Island, and we're looking off to the east. You can see the lights out there on the oil rig or gas rig or whatever that is out there in Mobile Bay. And then real quick, a look in central Alabama. There's the look at the county courthouse at Fayette, and we're under a chilly morning thanks to surface high pressure, keeping winds calm, allowing plenty of radiational cooling, and the result is that we've got widespread frost going on this morning. In the upper atmosphere, we're dealing with this trough kind of along or just to the west of the Mississippi River, and that is certainly bringing us some cool air, and you can see that cool air on the national temperature map as we look at all these chilly values. And if you happen to catch the weather last night, wow, isn't that amazing what was going on up in New England? And we'll talk about that in just a second real quick. The temperatures across central Alabama, you can see the kind of the heat island effect going on at Birmingham where they're 38. But around that, almost every place sitting very close to freezing. And I'm sure, a few spots probably may have actually reached into the upper 20s as well. Mentioned New England. The storm is beginning to wind down up there. Hurricane force winds off in the Atlantic, and a lot of snow all the way from the northeastern part of West Virginia and parts of New Jersey and Maryland, all the way up across eastern Pennsylvania, southeastern New York, parts of Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, on the order of anywhere from 10 to 18 inches with 20 to 30 inches in the Berkshires. So lots of snow. Precipitation is pretty hard to find for us for the next week, and actually probably the best chance is going to come late in the day on Thursday and into Friday. On the tropics, very little to talk about. We've certainly got a couple of areas to watch, but nothing expected to develop. As you can see, 0%. So even though we have a couple of disturbances, nothing there. The morning 06Z GFS model run, and there's our surface high pressure centered over Virginia, nosing its way down into the southeastern U.S., and that is keeping things cool, calm, collected, and beautiful for our fall. Look for temperatures today to get into the primarily lower 60s, maybe even nudging into the mid-60s for some locations. By Monday, we see that the trough has, congealed once again, so we've got good northwesterly flow, and we can see that it is edged by us. Tuesday, that trough is now just off the mid-Atlantic coast, and we're coming under a ridge, so we should see a nice warm-up, getting into the 70s at least. The warm-up continues with the ridge on Wednesday. Thursday, we begin to see some changes as that trough comes out of the Rockies and comes across Missouri, and that will at least drag a front into the area. The problem is right now it looks like the front is not going to make it very far, so I think the best chance for rain is going to come later in the day, Thursday, probably into Thursday evening if this timing is correct. Friday, we see that the little trough has gone by. It's now along the east coast of the United States, and we're coming back under ridge. But what that does is pretty much drag the front into the area and then leave it behind. So we're not going to see, probably Friday, we're going to see some small chance for some showers. But the ridge gets stronger as a big trough comes out of the Rockies, and as that trough does, then that again improves the southwesterly flow. But that ridge holding tough is going to allow us to have another beautiful day. Sunday, we stay in the same pattern. That is, the ridge holds so strong that it nudges that big low up across the western Great Lakes, and that keeps us essentially free from precipitation. And now on Sunday, we see that the front is dragging at least closer, so we may have to be talking about some rain either late Sunday or into Monday. But that's verging out on voodoo, so we won't worry about that for now. Again, it looks like Halloween going to be a great time. Now, going out into voodoo, the big thing I mentioned yesterday was the trend for the GFS to be producing a warm start to November. And it certainly looks like the GFS continues to do that. This is for midday on Wednesday the 9th, and you can see a nice southwesterly flow that should keep us warm and mild with that big trough out over Baja California. And then we seem to see the flow pattern get a little back to where the westerlies are still pretty far to our north. As you see a nice trough moving across the Great Lakes area, but that certainly doesn't look like any extremes going on here. And no rain. And of course, October was one of our driest months. Well, thanks for tuning into the Weather Xtreme video. I expect James Spann to be back with the next edition first thing Monday morning. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day and Godspeed.
Thank you for trusting us to be your #1 source for news
in all of Central Alabama.
in back-to-back ratings periods.
More people watched ABC 3340
than any other station in Birmingham.